This conference will now be recorded.
Build path has been removed from this particular part. I kept the jar files in jars, right? I think I've kept it out here.
So Kaushik has still not recovered, huh?
No, having fever actually.
Oh, this cold fever or something else?
This is basically viral.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because of cold only, I think.
So much there's fluctuation.
Hmm.
Okay. So last time we saw given when then and we saw some validations out here. Now if you look at, I'm not
Yes.
getting the response. I'm not getting the response, but if you look at the status code validation and the content type validation in the response body, these are validations of the response body. They are getting passed, and that is why I'm getting this particular printout. Let me run it once more.
Yes.
All validations passed. Now, if I want to see the response body that you are getting in the console of Eclipse, how do I do that? Now, remember one particular thing, whatever you want to do, as far as console is concerned, you want to send some data as an output in the console, or want to get data from the console or from any other application, it should be in string format. Okay. Now the next agenda is to print out the response body in string format. Now what the response we have got is we have got the response in your JSON format because if you look at we have requested for a JSON output. Okay. So you will get the data, the response in your JSON format. If you look at the behavior of this, it's a get method use. With the get method here. And get method does not require you to send any request body. It only has a response body. How do you get a printout in JSON format? If you want to do that, what I'll do, I will keep it like this. Let me actually create another project. I'll copy this and paste it out here. It will be rest assured tool. Let's close this. Okay, let me open this. So I'm going to print out of the response body, right? want to get a printout, you have to convert the response body that you've got out here by firing this particular code into string. Now, for doing that, what you need to do is that one thing is that you have to use dot mm, dot status. What are the functions present as when assert body content type cookies default extract method extract dot response. If you look at this is a response method, so we'll extract the response. I have to use this particular extract method at the last. You can put it down out here. And what do you want to extract? You want to extract the response. How do you extract it? The response by using the response method. If you look at the return type of the response method is a response class. This is a response class. Okay. Now extract dot response. So return type of this method is a response class. With that out here. Okay. Now what will I do then? The return type of this method is a response class. I will put it to respond res equal to this. Now I have to import the response class from your io.restassured.response. 1 minute, just hold on. Somebody has come, nobody is there to open it. Sorry guys. Actually, the kids are there, the mom is not there, she has gone out. Okay, so the response, you have to extract it with the response method by the extract key method and then response. It's very straightforward. Return type with the response class. So response is a class which is the return type of method. Now, if you want to go to the documentation part of it, just go out here to the rest assured Java documentations. So you can go to the response, rest assured. Rest assured, if you look at now, let me tell you, whatever you see in italic format will be an interface. For example, this will be an interface response specifications. Whereas whatever you see in your non-italic format will be a class. Rest assured is a class. Okay. And I would like to check up if response is a class or the interface. I can go it out
So
here
it is
and
a
see.
static class, correct?
Huh?
It's a static class, correct? Rest assured.
Now, rest assured class cannot be static. Uh, the methods inside this can be your static or non-static. If you look at these are the probably methods of this classes methods. So some methods is a static method. You can see all these are static method which returns a
Okay.
string part. String types, modifier and type. Static. This method is static, returning string.
Okay.
Okay. So strictly speaking, then this is response the interface. Here response the interface, not a class. How do I know that? Because I did a major mistake uh, out here. How do I know it? You can see out here response will be in italic format. So this is the interface.
Okay.
This interface is actually inheriting these interfaces. These are super interfaces, which response interface is inheriting. And what is the class which implements the response interface? Rest assured response IMPL class. So this
Okay.
response interface is the return type of the response method.
Okay. Type of response only.
Yeah. So if you look at these are the methods inherited from the interface called a response body. These are the methods it is inheriting from the response body extraction options. This one from response body data interface, the response interface
Hmm.
is
Are they
inherit,
string and input string?
yeah. Methods inherited from the interface to that is response options. And these are the methods which it is inheriting from the response option interface. Because this interface response is inheriting these interfaces. So these are called as, which I'm highlighting as called as super interface for it. So all those methods of those super interfaces are being inherited by the response interface. That is what is defined out here. Okay. Now, if you extract or given the rest assured framework, rest assured class, does it have a response specifications out there as a method? The return type is response specification. Method summary certificate basic delete digest files form head header. These are the field summary. Field means global variable present in this class. This is the only constructor that you can use. So certain things you should understand that certain usages of this rest assured class is defined out here. You can go through it if you have a problem. And you will see that since it is a class, it will have fields. Fields are nothing but global variables. Fields can be static as well as non-static. So if you look at this field is a static field and it is returning type as authentication scheme. Similarly, if you look at default URI is a field or a variable, global variable, which is static into nature and returning a string value. In the same way, I said this is the only constructor that you can use for a class. No other constructors can be used. Similar fashion, there are methods of this class. So I wanted to search for a method called as responses there. There is something called as E G H E E. Mm, or post put method replace request method. There is no response method. So response method is belonging to which class? If you do not know it, you can actually hover your mouse over the response method. It belongs to the extractable response. This is the class probably, or it is the interface. I do not know because so much extractable response. So you can go out here and check out extractable response. So I have to go back. Extractable response. This is how you have to do a reverse engineering to understand it. Extractable response. It's an interface. And how do I know? You just have to hover your mouse over the response method. It is a it is a method belonging to extractable response. It is returned with a response. Cross verify from here. These are the super interfaces it inherits. These are the class which implements it. Okay, and these are the methods. So one of the methods should be response. It returns a type parameter extractable response. This is the method understanding. Returns entire response object includes headers, cookies, and body. So what is the response method returning? It returns a response interface. Okay, sorry, response class, which actually is returning the full response object consisting of response headers, response cookies, and the response body part. That is how it works. Okay, now this is the whole response is kept in this variable. Now I need to extract it to the console. So what I need to do is that we need to convert the response kept in res variable to string format. So what we need to do res, I'm calling this variable. There's a method called as string method. Convert it to a class, convert it to what type you want to have as a needs to be converted to a string. The return type is a string variable. And this as string method is a method which returns a string value and belongs to response body data. I think this is the interface again. You can cross verify it. Response body data. Response body data. It's an interface. So as string is a method present in your response body data interface. As string has input stream. It is file input stream as byte array as an array of bytes. That is byte code format. I want to convert it to a string, so that is why the reason that I'm using the add string method. And return type of this method is a string, so I'll keep it to a string variable. Uh, Response body equal to this, and I want to print out this, so do a print out. Sys out the response body is then I put test body. Now let's run this. This is the response body in string format in your console of your Eclipse. This is what you're getting. Okay. Now I will pick up this response body. Now I can do further validations as part of the. I will pick up this console. In the console, I picked up the response body. And if you look at what we have requested for, is for your Bangalore International Airport, right? Kempegoda International Airport. So am I getting something related with Kempegoda? That is the first thing. Yeah, related with Kempegoda only. I requested a photo and name. It should be in Hindi. It is not in Hindi because it's a Unicode character. The question mark suggests it's a Unicode character. That's why it is not able to print out properly. Okay. Now, from this response body also, I can basically do lot of validations as part of your then method. So I've shown you two validations. Now, as part of the response body also, this is the response body that I've got right now in the console. So I can do further validations and keep it as part of the then method. What further validations I can do? Now I've copied that, and I'm going to show you certain things which are important and will help you out. We have got a response in JSON format, right? But a JSON formatted response has been converted to a string so that we can send the response uh, in the console of Eclipse, right? So what we need to do is we need to use a JSON editor. There are two things. One is the formatter and one is the editor. Why do you require the editor? If you want to use the editor, you can basically put the response body that you have got in string format in this particular part, Control V, and click on this arrow button. It will show you actually how the response body looks like. This is nothing but it will tell you the JSON body key value pairs. Now, if the JSON body starts with the object, you'll always be starting with a curly brace. And if you look at the JSON body start with a curly brace only. See this. Okay. And inside the objects, so curly braces means objects. Remember that. So inside these curly braces, you will see square brackets. Okay. Now, if you see square brackets inside it, it will basically make you understand that it is nothing but a key value pair. For example, if you look at this is a understanding. This JSON response body contains two objects, starting with the curly brace, and these are the two objects, candidates and status. And candidate again has uh, a array of size 1. So curly braces means objects. If it starts with a square bracket, it will suggest you that it is a JSON starting as an object, but it has inside it an array of size 1. That means candidate is an object which has an array of size 1. If it is an array of size 1, index number will be 0. So that means at index number 0, you have 5 objects again. Curly brace means objects. What are the 5 objects at index number 1, at index number 0? These are the 5 objects: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you look at geometry again, it has curly brace 2. Curly brace 2 means it has inside it 2 objects. What are the 2 objects of geometry? Location is one object, viewport is another object. And location again has 2 objects inside it. That's curly brace. What are the 2 objects? Latitude and longitude. And these are the values of it. If you look at the left hand side, you will see the same behavior. It is starting with the curly brace, and it has first object as candidate, the second object at the same indentation. If you look go down, second object is the status. Inside candidate, it is starting with a square bracket. That means it's nothing but a array of. It has an array more than one array inside an array. It has only one array, I believe. It is starting out here, and candidate is ending out here. So candidate has a array size of 1. Uh, at index number, at the size of months means index number 0. So at index number 0, okay, it has 5 objects again. 1, 2, 3. Look at the indentation. 4, and the fifth one is rating. Okay. Now array at index number 1, index number 0 has 5 objects. And if you look at geometry as a second object of index number with 0, it has again latitude, sorry, location, which has latitude and longitude. So location again is containing 2 objects, latitude and longitude. So it is difficult to understand the left hand side part of it, and that is why we use the editor online to look at the fact that this JSON response is starting with the object or with the array. If it is starting with the array, this will be not curly brace, this will be square bracket. Okay. So this is starting with the object. There are two objects inside it. The first object is candidate, the second object is status, whose value is okay. Okay. Now I have to also understand the candidates has a JSON array of size 1. JSON array of size 1 means index number 0. So at index number 0, there are 5 objects again. So what are the 5 objects? Formatted address, geometry, name, photos, rating. If you look at geometry, it has again 2 objects inside it, that is latitude and longitude. Latitude and viewport, sorry, these are the 2 objects. And if you look at location again has 2 objects. These are the 2 objects, latitude and longitude. Viewport also has 2 objects, northeast and southeast. And northeast has again 2 objects, latitude, longitude. And southeast also has 2 objects, latitude, longitude. Okay, if you look at photos, photos has an array of size 1. That is index number 0 will have again 4 objects. What are the 4 objects? Height, HTML attributions, photo reference, and width. HTML attribution again has array of size 1. So at the index number 0, this is the value. Now, why it is required to understand the behavior like this? Simple understanding. I can do further validations by looking at this object value key objects and the array size. Now, if I want to find out, does the body contain the status equal to OK? How will I find it out? I have to travel through the JSON. Okay. And remember, it is in JSON format, it's not an XML format. It's in JSON format. So I have to travel like this in this particular manner. So before you extract the response, I'll use the body method. Body is a method. Okay. If you look at the body method, it takes arguments. Now I'll show you again. Dot body. List of arguments, matches, strings, list, a lot of things are out here. So we will basically use uh, mm, okay, body. Now I would define the path in the JSON. Now this as it is having starting with 2 objects. This is the first second object. The second object is status whose value is equal to OK. So I have to write down something like this. Status and should be equal to is a method. Equal to is a method. Equal to value as maintain the uppercase and lowercase of this. Copy and paste it. Equal to is a method. It's a static method. So what I need to do is that I have to import it. So equal to is a method of the Hamcrest jar file. I know it because I have been using it. Don't worry about I do not know it because you will learn everything. Static. This will be org dot input this. Dot okay, the Hamcrest belongs to which package? To check out. Out dot Hamcrest. Okay. Im- Why it is input? Import out dot Hamcrest dot matchers class equals to class matchers dot what matcher then dot base matcher condition description matchers class matchers dot equal to. So basically a static method of the matchers class of this particular package called as org.hamcrest. Static method, that's why you have to import it like this. Non-static classes, non-static methods can be shown by the your intelligence, but static methods cannot be shown. You have to import it like this, like you've done for given. Now, like your equals to, there are a lot of methods of the matcher class. You can see that any of the matching anything array containing this arrays, and then you see close to both this and this matching, both is there. Close compare equal to contains a particular substring, contains a list of matches, contains in any order. Lot of methods are out here. Empty, empty array, empty collection, empty iterable, empty or null string. A lot of things are there out here. Equals to, I'm using equals to method, equals to compressing, equals to ignoring, equals to ignoring, and equals to returns type what? This method returns type a string value. Please remember it. This one. Equals to method returns a matcher interface. Belongs to the matcher class. This one we are using. So equals to um, calls to okay dot. The moment you put dot, the return line goes dot extract dot response. So we can basically use the body behavior like this. So we can do. This is not part of your advanced validation. Simple validations where I have not shown you the body validation. And for body validation, it is always feasible to use this kind. If the response in JSON, you can use a JSON online editor like this. I'll copy this. Write down to understand the JSON response body. Use the JSON online editor. And I can do further analysis out here. I've just given the status part. If I want to validate that it contains the formatted address as this or not, I can do that also. Now, if you remember one particular thing, equals to means exact match. Remember that. Now, if you look at out here, it contains some Unicode characters. Okay. Actually, in real time, I am basically converting it to a string after this validation. So this string is converted after this validation. At this point, it gets converted to string. And that is why I got in string format the Unicode are coming as question mark. So validations further on will happen before this conversion to string. Uh, Before you convert it to string, the actual response body will not contain Unicode character. It will tell you that exactly what it contains. It was in Hindi, so that's why it is coming in question mark. So I want to validate that the formatted address in the response body is this or not. This is validation. Okay, simple validation only. So I can basically use the body method again, and I have to travel now properly. It is starting in candidates, the first object. So I'll go to the first object, candidates. I'll copy it from here better. Candidates, and candidates, which has in JSON array of size 1. That means at index number 0, it contains 5 objects again. So I have to go to index number 0. So candidate at index number 0 represented by this 0 in square bracket. Dot object. The candidate has 5 objects. That's what it's saying. I want to go to the first object formatted address. I'll copy this and paste it out here. So candidate at index number 0 dot formatted address has contains. I'll not use equals to. That will be a complete match. Contains means substring is there or not. And contains method is also present in your matches class. I'll have to import it like this. Okay. I'm showing you one by one. Dot contains. Contains method. Now, instead of basically calling and importing each and every method of the matcher class like this, what I can do is that I can copy this, paste it out here. Instead of dot contains dot equals, I can use dot star. All the methods. That's what it means, nothing else. Okay, that's what it means, nothing else. All the methods of the method class. So I don't have to basically call it like this then. So it contains what? Contains a substring, sorry, dot and then extract. Contains what is the? I'll not take the whole thing. I'll take it until this portion. Substring. Now, like this, I can have multiple validations in the then method. I can also validate that. Let's say I want to validate rating is equal to 4.5. Okay, rating is equal to 4.5. Okay, so what I need to do is that rating is the, I have to go to candidates. Candidates has size of JSON array of 1 because at index number 0, I have to go to rating. So I will start with candidates. Again, dot body. Body candidates at index number 0 dot. Index number 0 contains 5 objects. Curly brace means objects. The first object is this, second, third, fourth, fifth. Name is coming in again Unicode because it is coming was Hindi. It was coming in Hindi format. Kempegowda Antarashtriya Hawai Adda. Fourth, fifth. So I have to go to fifth and check out it is 4.5 or not. Rating. This is cross validations. Dot ratings. Maintain the uppercase and lowercase. Dot comma 4.5 equal to method I can use. Equal to, and there are other methods also you can use. You can see that what are the methods available. Control space bar body, no. comma equal to. If you want to cross verify, I can go and cross verify here again. What are the methods present? 4.5 array blank close to contains empty equal to greater than has key has xpath is empty string matches regular expression not value null value contains not a number return type is not a number matcher of double null value all these are there so I can use probably the equals to again not star equal to the value is 4.5. These are nothing but validations. So after validation, you are converting to a string by using the as string method. It's a method of your response body data returned with a string. And since you're getting the response converted from JSON to string, you will see that wherever the Unicode characters are present, it is coming in question mark format. Name was coming in, if you don't understand it, and the name was coming in Hindi. Here also question mark. Bharat. Karnataka 560300 Bharat. It was coming. So it was Unicode character. And since it is coming in Unicode, okay, I'm using, I do not know actually what it is present out there. So I'm putting out here as contains method. Contains is substring. Let's run this. At any point of time, this line fails, or this line fails, or this line fails, or this line fails, or this line fails. Okay, you will not get the printout because the moment that the validation fails as this line or this line, from that line only the rest of the codes are not compiled. So neither you will get the extraction of the body or before that there's a printout stating that all validation are passed. You will not get a printout of this. So at any point of time, any of these lines which I'm highlighting is failing. That means the validation is failing. So if the validation is failing, at that point the comparison stops. So let's say the validation is failing at this line, comparison stops from this line onwards until the rest of the codes in this particular main method. So let's run this now. If every validation passes, then you will see the printout at line number 64 and the printout for line number 69 and 70. And there is a problem. Expected is KIL Road, Devanahalli, Bangalore, Karnataka 560300. Actual was this.
It actually uses contents method, correct?
Yeah,
But
substring.
it took the whole.
Yes.
Uh, yes.
So actual was this. This is what it is coming actually, and this what was the expectations. So whatever you put out here is actually an expectation. These are all expectations. Okay, and it will tell you also what is the problem. Assertion error, and it will tell you what is the line number also. It tells you that this particular address that you have defined doesn't match. Then find line number 60. That line is the problem. So what to do with this?
I
Okay,
think we need to use
I,
another method for this one.
I will comment it. I will show you
Okay.
what you need to do. I'll comment it. I'm not going to remove this and let's run it once more. Let's check out the other rating is equal to 4.5 or not. Where is the failure? Actual null. Null it is coming. And let's look at the console result is not coming because anyway the validation has failed. You will not get the console result for these codes. Okay, so what I need to do is that remember that if you have these decimal numbers and special characters, specifically for decimal numbers, special characters, the validation will fail. It is always advisable that you have kept this particular value to a rest variable, right? So I can use before I extract the response. The extraction of the response is basically to print the result in string format, like using the string. So what I'll do before extraction, I will do the same thing, res keyword. Now res is the this is the variable which contains the response in JSON format. Dot. Okay. Why I'm not getting res dot. Okay. I'll not get it out here. No, I'll not get it out here. So what I can do is that I've converted to a string, right? So I can use this res body dot. Now this is converted to as string. Return type is a res body. So res body dot. I can use mm, you can see equals to method, contains method are present out here. Last index of string methods, value of and all. So I can check out if I can use the contains function. Contains response is converted to a string format. So after that I can do validations out here. Contains the value this or not, or these are string methods, correct? So we can look out from here. String methods is something called as contains. Character sequence. Probably I can copy this and paste it out and check out it is happening or not. Return type is a boolean. So contains return will be true, otherwise false. Boolean b1 is equal to this, and print out b1. And we can also find out boolean b2. b2 equals rest body. This is in string format. You can use the contains function to check that 4.5 rating is present or not. Generally for decimal numbers, we will not use this kind of latitude longitude will also come in decimal formats. Not use those behaviors. The return type is a boolean. This is out. Now there's a problem out here. So I've commented it. So it'll extract the response, convert it to a string, and then see that the body contains these values or not. Let's run this now. True. Here where you can do validations. Write down generally with decimal number validation. What's happening? latitude or longitude, or with special character, the body method. The body method used in then part will fail. Use the contents method of string class to validate as given below. Okay. So in the similar fashion, for example, I have to do valuation of the name. The name will also fail because it has Unicode characters. So name is present at what? At candidate index number 0, there is a name object. So at the body part, mm, body index number 0 dot name object contains function. This will also fail. At this point, it will be a failure. This is Unicode actually. So this is coming after you extracted it from JSON to string format, converted it from JSON to string. Expected iterable condition is this. Actual is this. So don't do these kind of validations with the body
Uh,
method.
Kaushik,
Hmm.
it is failed because we are using this method against this JSON format, correct? But
Yes.
the later you change it to the
Yeah.
string, then you use this method, then this
Yeah.
will work, I think. Okay.
Yes. That is what I was given. If you do the same thing, I'll copy this. This body, I'll call this as boolean v3. Okay, I'll copy the same question mark. This should pass. Remember, any other letters apart from English, Hindi or Tamil, Telugu or Odia, will come in Unicode characters, and Unicode character will be shown by question mark when you convert it to a string. Please remember that. And run this to check out. 1 minute before I run this, I have to comment this. False. Unicode also does not work with contents. If you have an exact value like this, then it works. The content value is not able to contain this. That is the problem with Unicode. That is what you will face in real time also. Okay. Now let's go to advanced validation. All validation part and then converting a string again with string methods you are validating it with the Boolean values. Fine. Now advanced validation. Advanced validations are done by parsing the converted string response body. So by parsing the converted string response body, you have to parse. For doing advanced validation. So if the response is coming in JSON format, you have converted the JSON format to a string format, well and fine. Now you have to parse it for doing advanced validation. Since it is a JSON response, please use the JSON path class file. JSON path j is equal to new JSON path. If I'm not wrong, this is incorrect. This is not correct. This is JSO anything. You know, it will come by itself. New JSON path. I in rest assured path JSON. Okay, now it takes an argument. It doesn't have a, if you understand constructors of an object, it doesn't have a no argument constructor of this object. It takes an argument and you have to pass on the converted variable which is defined out here. Parsing is done from the converted response body from JSON to string. We have to pass this. Once done, we can do advanced validation now. J dot, what do you want to validate? Uh, you want to get the double value, you have to give the path in string format. Why do I am using a double value? If you look at in Java, by default, when you give a decimal, it is considered as double by compiler. So this is a double value, right? And what is the path of it? Path, I have described it out here. I'll take this path. Now I shall get. And what I can see that return type of get double is a double variable. So put it to a double variable. And I'll call this as actual rating equal to this. This is another way to do validations. So one validation I showed like this, other validation is like this. Then this particular path, I can basically define the double expected rating is equal to 4.5. Actual rating we are getting from this by giving the path. And then I can write down if actual rating dot equal method should come. Sorry, it is double, so it is not string, so equality has to be used. Equality to expected rating. then sys out rating is 4.5 as expected. This I can do for this behavior, and where else it has failed? It has failed in this contains method, right? So this is a string value. I can take this as a string value. So there is a method of the JSON path j dot get class, get float, get class, get float, get integer, get JSON, get the JSON object, get the list, you use list, get the long, get the map, get object, get string, and the path is for your address. So the path. And return type of get string, as you know it, is a string variable. So I'll call this as string actual address. Okay, and I will basically have the um, string expected address is equal to the expected address, this one. I'm not putting the whole address because it contains Unicode characters. And since it is string, I can definitely use the if logic, where I can say that if actual address dot contains method substring, and not use equals to. Equal to it might fail. Sys out.
You have to delete the double quote, I think. Contains.
Yeah, it's already in string one. So rating expected. And then you can run this. If one of the validations here fails at this line, none of the codes below it will get compiled. And true true false is coming for boolean value b3, and this is coming as null pointer exception at line number 89.
Okay. I think you have to use b2 dot response body dot contains, I think.
This is fading at which line?
Kaushik, this candidate does ratings. It's a the return value is a string format or it's a string
It's a
format or JSON format.
string, it is a string format.
No,
So
I'm thinking this 4.5 also they're taking as a string format only.
yeah, yes. So what you can do is put it to a string. And when null pointer exception is coming, this should be get of string. Let's run this.
Same code, I think.
What about the lower one?
Uh, Kaushik,
Hmm.
can you just print that actual rating?
क्या बोल रहा है?
Can you print that actual rating before if condition? We'll get to know what is the actually 4.5 or it was some there is some space value also there. I don't know.
It's coming. It is done from the. This is the actual rating 4.5.
There is a space 4.5, correct? No, 0, maybe, I don't know.
I will actually look at this.
Correct, correct.
But
Sometimes
this,
what I did before that if condition, I print a system.println to check that actually what is the rating. Then I write my automation to script.
the below has passed.
Yes.
Four 4.5, right? So better to use the contents.
Kaushik can do one more thing. Initially, that expected rating, you can take it in a int and then convert into int into a string. I think it will going to work.
No, Kaushik just print before if condition one statement you can write na system.out.println actual rating. After that, we'll get to know.
Okay, instead of this, he is saying that print out the actual rating.
Just to print out before this null pointer exception, we'll get that what is actually print actual ratings. It's
Null.
coming null. Yes, somewhere
That's what I'm
missing.
saying. He has to first
And
use as a int and then int has to convert into a string. It will work.
1, 2, 3, 4, fifth only. Candidate index number 0 dot rating. Candidate at index number 0 dot rating. Okay, what again? If I actually uncomment this part, what is the actual value? Like it will fail out here only.
Same. That is only null pointer it was saying. Yes. It will go down. Can you go up to this B2, Boolean B2? Little up. Okay, you are searching this 4.5, na?
It's in string I'm using. Because the whole thing is converted to string, right? Very understandable that when you convert it to a string by the asString method, you have to use response what is kept in the string format in this variable. When you use the contains methods, it will contain a string value, and that is why it is passing also out here. And that is the reason I kept two a string value. See, it is passing. B2 is passing.
No. Kaushik, just I'm telling one statement. Can you tell me it's correct or not? because that array index point start with 0 and there is only one array, so you are using this candidate's 0,
This is
correct?
size.
In the code.
This is the size of the array.
Means there is only one array, and as a array in interface, the index start with 0. You are using this 0 that with square bracket, correct? In the coding.
Candidates at index number 0 has an object called rating. That is how we depict it. Candidate at index number 0 has an object called ratings. It is rating.
Rating.
Rating. Ting.
Okay, got it.
Oh, here also it failed. Formatted address rating candidate. So let's see this. Understand now. So this also is coming as content. This is fine. This was having a problem. So this will be rating. Let's see what is the repercussion at this point now.
Okay.
That's why I was showing you null. Actual 4.5, expected 4.5.
But
And what
this expected and actual both are different type of what you call as an maybe
is
this one
in,
is doubles.
is in
This
JSON
one
format
maybe
now because it's part of the validations. So
maybe one is JSON format, one is string format.
no, this is in JSON format completely. This actual expected is coming for line number. If you look at this, coming for line number 62. That is this line which I've commented. That is why I said that don't, if you have decimals point in a number or in latitude, longitude, don't try to use the body method. What you can do is either use this method of the string class called contains, and after parsing, if you want to do it, it will be um,
It will
now
work,
if I
I
run
think.
it, I think it should work now. Contains or
Yes.
equals to. Should contains also work and equals to should also work. Let me see equal to first.
No, it's a string format. Equals.
Otherwise, we have to use contain. There is some, character which we are missing.
Yes,
It is
it's work now.
equals to is working out here. It's everything as a string, right? So this parsing is done from the string form. Do advanced validations. Okay. So this is what you can do for values in the JSON response body having decimal part. So first convert it to a string and do a parsing for advanced validations like this. That is the only way you can basically validate all those JSON objects or JSON arrays which have decimal values. If you try to use it with the body method, see example, I'll show you latitude, longitude. Here it is. Okay, these are also having decimal parts. If you try to do it with the body method, it will fail. And then what you need to
Use
do,
two string method to change this JSON format to two string. Then I can.
then you can use it. You can use it. Then you can definitely use it. And, equals to and dot to string dot return type of this will be a string then. Then you can use it probably.
Maybe somewhere I have to.
The two string, the moment you use the two string method, the string type has to be put to a string value variable.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
can't string variable. You have to extract it and then response it and use it. So better to use this behavior or this behavior. This is part of your advanced validation. So this behavior will be taken much more seriously than the Boolean values that you're getting from the string class methods. Okay, so I'll stop it today here. Tiredness both, brother.
Yes, Kaushik.
And I will send you the codes. Upload the video after an hour or so. Tell her to upload it so we can see that. Now, once you understand this actual non-validation and all, rest of the things are ball game. It's very easy. Okay. I will show you the delete, create, update, delete, put, post methods. Now for Google, I'll take one more code next time. That is, if we have an output as XML format, then how to do these kind of validations. So this body method it gives you the path of the JSON response body to give you a path of XML when the output is XML format. What is the path that I have to tell you? Okay, because XML is nothing but XML. XML is nothing but you take text path. The XML format. That path format is different from the JSON path. That is out here or here, wherever it is. Okay. Any questions you guys have? I can send you the code immediately.
Kaushik, I'm dropping off now.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, and yeah, okay. Thank you, Kaushik.
yeah. Thanks. Last time wala code I've sent it, right?
Yes, Kaushik. Kaushik, in that no, this file, can you send some free APIs? Those we can
We
use. That URLs.
okay. The APIs of this rest assured.
Yes, no, any free like APIs, those I
Yeah,
can use for
yeah,
automation.
yeah, you can use it.
Yeah, just I need some URLs just
Yeah, yeah,
because Google one is not free one. I think you paid 1 rupee for that, and that's you are using, correct?
yeah, yes.
Yep. Just I'm looking for that one.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thanks. Got transferred. Thanks.